Hey folks, I've gotten a couple questions here on what to do if your project is not in GitHub and how to get it there so we can get it to commit, push, and sync with the cloud. So assuming you had something like this, for any assignment, but for lab one, like, hey, look, I went and finished lab one and it's done. Obviously, this one's not done. This is just my example, but it's not in GitHub. When I open up my GitHub desktop client, it's not there, or oops, I just haven't even started that step yet. So what you want to do is you need to see where this project is. So you come to this top left, and wherever that default location is, your C users, Eric C, whatever your username, something about idea projects, I forget exactly what it was called. This is the folder where the project is now. So what we need to do is get it into the GitHub directory. So I'm going to come to the assignment and click on my classroom link here, and we'll launch out there. Again, if you haven't accepted the assignment, click accept, wait 5 seconds or so and hit refresh. And then you can go click on your link. It'll take you to your private repository page. You have access and I have access. Click on the code button, say open with GitHub Desktop. That'll launch your GitHub Desktop tool, and you can go and clone the repository, or in my case, I already had it cloned. Oops, let me go remove this here real quick. And I'll do that step one more time. And let's go open it in GitHub Desktop. If you already have it cloned, it just opens and that's fine, but I'll go through, clone it. So it's going to make a copy of it in my folder here. So it's going to put it in my C users documents GitHub. Let me open this up here. So I can use the show and explore button, and it opens up File Explorer for me, or a Mac Finder, and you can see this is where it is, this path here. And you can move this if you want to see the path better. So this is where it needs to go, and it's not there yet. I actually had a lab one from earlier. This is not the one I was working on over here that, yay, it's done. Oops, but it's not in GitHub. So now I have this folder open. I need to go and open up this folder where it currently is. So in IntelliJ, you can right click on your project or on the folder here and say open in Explorer. It'll open up another window for you here. And this is the untitled project, right? It's untitled. I forgot to name it lab one or whatever happens. Now, what I'm going to recommend you do is cut. So you don't want to copy, because then you might come back to it later and change it, and then it still won't be in sync with GitHub. So I'm going to close out IntelliJ here to make sure nothing's open. And I'm going to cut this out, either right click and cut or Control X for cut, or you can drag and drop, whichever you prefer here. Come to the GitHub directory folder and drop it in here. Now, when I come to the GitHub client, it should say, hey, there's a bunch of new stuff, all the stuff in the idea folder, and then your main Java file. If this looks like what you expect, you're off to the races, you're good to go. You can go ahead and commit and push. So this will be lab one, done. And, maybe I'll put that in quotes because, not actually done here. We'll look at that tomorrow. Go ahead and push and sync. Now I'm going to view on GitHub to make sure I can see it online, or I could just come back to my tab and refresh here. And that should be in a folder named Untitled. As soon as this loads here, come on, refresh. Here's the Untitled folder. I can go to source and I can check main here, and we're all set. Oops, this is the version that I expected to see here. So this is the URL you'll turn into D2L when you're done. All right, if you got any questions, let me know. Happy to help. And it looks like we can also reach out to our technical help folks if you're having trouble on the virtual desktop as well, in case you haven't installed all this locally. They're pretty good at helping you out there. So let me know. Take care. See you later.